first to know Nsem-Pii TV.
Ato Forson ene yewura se tekwe sabre ka say omo eda so ejina court cross examination egusua ekoso enche ne ma moya awe se cross examination no akwa kopiem ni nyina se attorney general de wafre adansefo makomako 11 amomu nyina aba court aba bi de adanse e de ama Odame afi ye adru se Ato Forson adansefo so ebeba no ma bi di adanse e de ama Ato Forson na dansini a otoso miensa e ma Ato Forson the former finance minister Yura Setekwe na papa no e US abrochima mu nti no o video conference call na afi odi ni dwuma se obe na yatoto na no na wabo ndwuma na no niam e call so e wo court no na ani enyan ni nyina nse Setekwe ekikan kan se mebri e fa ambulance no to some extent kra se okodane asem ekugu the then attorney general marital pon brew ene ne deputy Dominica ini so se omo na ma na futu se wonkuti eska na alenu de yukuti eska na skano in error na is a Ghana sa eska na ekuti ama big c ni na sebi na aketua hu na ene court esa atenase na ye nua panyi Paul Adomoche eko court a cross examination e course no Paul Adomoche amie etifo secret pa easy yiti Paul Adomoche and a cross examination a course and a court
that he received approval, some form of approval or some form of authorization from his boss. So his boss is come to the court as a witness for Ato Forson. He's a defense witness. He's not a witness for the prosecution. He's a witness for the defense. So he has come to court to say to the court that, yes, I did an authorization for case Ato Forson. And naturally, as the court rules work, the Attorney General who is prosecuting will have the opportunity to cross-examine the Honorable Setekwe, to ask him questions about what Honorable Setekwe has already said. So this conversation is about the Honorable Tekwe telling the court that I gave authorization to case Ato Forson, and the Attorney General is cross-examining him to come to the conclusion and find some solution and understand something, but ultimately the court will make the decision. So the Attorney General is trying to urge on the court that he did not give approval. The Honorable Setekwe says, I gave approval. The court will make their decision. So this is the questions and answers that I'm sharing with you now. Okay. He says, I am talking about your approval. It must be backed by record. Setekwe says, yes, it must be backed by record. Next page. He says, you did not exhibit any record showing the approval you have made before this court, which is to say the approval for the purchase of the ambulance. Then Dr. Basit Bamba comes in. So when you see Dr. Bamba here, it's an objection he raised on that day. He comes in and says, my lady, we object to this question on the grounds that the witness did not use the word approval. Then the judge, that's why we write by court. The judge says, the objection is overruled. Okay, let's move on. Odame continues. He says, you did not exhibit any record showing the approval you have made before this court. Honorable Setekwe says, the records before the court shows clearly that the attachments to the payments came from the Ministry of Health to the Bank of Ghana, BOG. Odame said, you were invited to Yoko, which investigated this matter in 2018. Is that not correct? Honorable Setekwe said, yes, I was. Odame continues and says, you were questioned by Yoko on all you knew on the transaction. Is that not correct? Honorable Tepe said, yes, I was. Then Odame continues, you did not indicate to Yoko that you gave approval for the payment in question. Did you? Setekwe says, I stated clearly in that statement that I had left office and I could not make any statement out of memory. So I asked them to bring me documents from the Ministry of Finance to refresh my memory. But I was not invited again. Odame says, I am talking about questions by Yoko. You did not indicate to Yoko that you gave approval for the payment in question. Okay? Setekwe says, I could not have because, as I stated, I had left office and therefore could not rely on my memory to make statements which was of legal consequence. Odame says, following the questioning by Yoko, they gave you a statement form to take home to write about all you knew about the matter. Setekpe says, that is correct, but that does not change the position because I do not keep official documents at home, and especially since I had left office. Odame says, in your statement, which is Exhibit 5, for Honorable Forson, you did not mention anything about authorization for the payment in question. Setekpe says, I did not because I did not have the information. Setekpe said, I did not because I did not have the information. Attorney General says, at the time you were questioned by Yoko, and at the time you gave your statement to Yoko, you had left office only 1 year. Is that not correct? Setekpe said, it could be 1 year, but after receiving the volume of documents which I had to peruse, I feel justified that I did not proceed to give a longer statement from my memory. Odame comes back. By 2018, when you were writing this statement to Yoko, the matters were fresher in your mind than in 2023, as you appear before this court. Is that not correct? The Honorable Setekpe says, the issues that were fresh in my mind were what I put in my statement. Odame says, since 2018, which document had you seen that shows the payment made by Honorable Forson? Then the finance minister comes back and says, may I emphasize that I did not authorize payment. I authorized the establishment of an LC. The distinction is very important. Payment, as I stated earlier, is the responsibility of the sector minister. It is for this reason that the public financial management assigns responsibility to specific spending officers. Odame comes back. The ambulances in question were paid for through the establishment of letters of credit, the LC as they call it. Is that not so? He's asking the Honorable Setekpe. Honorable Setekpe said, yes, they are. Odame says, have you seen any document since 2018 by which you authorized the establishment of the letters of credit in question? Then the Honorable Finance Minister says, I have already stated before the court that I have seen the document by which I requested the establishment of the LC. Odame says, take a look at the exhibit file and show the court the exhibit you are talking about. Exhibit just means a document, viewers. Exhibit just means a document. So when you hear exhibit, it's a document. It's not, let's not get confused about that. Exhibit is a document, but it's not a plain sheet like this. There are stuff written on it. Okay, let's move on. Take a look at the exhibit file and show the court the exhibit you are talking about. Setekpe, the documents that support every action that we took were the opinion of the Attorney General cautioning us against financial loss to the state, a letter to the Ministry of Finance with the very attachment of the very caution that was sent to the Minister of Health, and the third and last one is the opinion of the legal division of the Ministry of Finance, which is based on my referral for a second opinion after the Attorney General's advice. Okay. Take a look at Exhibit 7 for Honorable Forson. Was dated 9th May 2014, where in Exhibit 7, 7A, and Exhibit 8, do they show approval by you for the establishment of the LC in question? Let me take this question again. Odame is asking, take a look at Exhibit 7, that's a document, for Honorable Forson. It was dated 9th May 2014. Where in Exhibit 7, that document, 7A, another document, and Exhibit 8, a third document, do they show approval by you for the establishment of the LC in question? Setekpe says, this is where the third document I referred to becomes important because I conveyed a meeting. Exhibit 7 is merely forwarding the document the AG himself had forwarded to me. And Exhibit 8 follows my referral of the documents from the AG to the Legal and Debt Management Division of the Ministry because we were then under an IMF program and it was important that I satisfy myself that we do not exceed the debt limit. So Exhibit 8 is the outcome of that referral that I made, reiterating the number of documents the legal division, the debt management division, and other divisions of the ministry researched in coming to their conclusion. It came up with two major recommendations, and according to the witness is reading now, viewers. That's why I write witness reads. Is reading now. From this point on, we had a meeting, and it came up with a decision. The meeting was between myself, the Honorable Forson, the Chief Director of the Ministry of Finance, and the three heads of department. That is the legal, the debt management, because I wanted to be convinced that my technical officers will agree with the decision. Okay. Odame continues. Neither your name nor signature is in any of these exhibits. That is Exhibit 7, 7A, and 8. The minister says, I did not have my signature, but it was addressed to me. Dami said, you did not minute or issue any instructions on any of these exhibits. That's a 7, that's exhibits is document, viewers. So document 7, 7A, and 8, the Attorney General is asking or suggesting that the Honorable Minister did not issue any instruction on any of these. The Setepe comes in. The various minutes in particular, Exhibit 7, are very faint. This is the Honorable Setepe talking. These are records before the court. I requested for the Ministry of Finance version of this document, but I did not receive it. But in the absence of my minute, it is clear from the stamp that it was received by my office before it went out to the other offices. Okay. The Attorney General comes back. Please look at document 8 for Honorable Forson, which you have indicated lists some documents that the legal department relied on in preparing this memo. And I will refer you to paragraph 9 of the memo. Tell the court which documents came from you that the legal department relied on. Okay, let's move on. The Honorable Setekwe says, letter dated 9th May 2014 from the Ministry of Justice to the Minister for Finance. Then Attorney General comes in. I am talking about letters that you authored and not letters that were received by your office. Because, okay, let's move on. Setekwe says, these letters are internal documents. So the document that would have come from my office are the Attorney General's office. The documents cite the two critical documents that came from my office, and I did not have to send them based on procedure with another letter from the legal department. It's a bit long, but let's try. Then Odame comes back. For purposes of clarity, there is no document here that you prepared, which the legal department relied on in preparing Exhibit 8 for Honorable Forson. Is that not correct? The Honorable Minister says, in all probability, there would be because some of the documents that were cited were from the period that I was Deputy Minister. For example, there is one here dated 2011. Then the Attorney General comes back. Are you the one who prepared the legal opinion? Are you the one who prepared the legal opinion you just cited? Then he says, I did not prepare it. The Attorney General says, please point out from this list of documents relied on by the legal department which letter you personally prepared or authored. Then the Honorable Minister says, I cannot. But it is important to note that at the time these documents were prepared for my office, there was no reason for me to have written a letter or to have authorized for a letter to be written. Attorney General says, I'm suggesting to you that your claim that there is a record for the approval you allege that you gave for the establishment of the letters of credit is false. And that is false. And that is why there is no record you can point to. Let me read that again. Attorney General says that, I'm suggesting to you, the Honorable Minister, that your claim that there is record for the approval you allege that you gave for the establishment of the letters of credit is false. And that is why there is no record you can point to. Then Dr. Bamba, who is lawyer for Setekwe, comes in and says, my lady, I have an objection on the grounds that the accused did not say that there were records on approval. Then the court speaks. The court says, the question is fair and the witness is capable of answering it. The objection is overruled. So, Odame comes back. I am suggesting to you that your claim that there is record for the approval you allege that you gave for the establishment of the letters of credit is false. And that is why there is no record you can point to. The Honorable Setekwe says, I disagree, because the documents before the court now constituted the input for the letter that was written to the GACG, the company, for the establishment of the LC. Okay, Odame continues. Take a look at Exhibit AL. It is a memo from Debt Management Division of your ministry to the Director for Budget of the Ministry of Finance, and it is related to the establishment of letters of credit, which paid for the ambulances in question. Is that not correct? The Honorable Setekwe said, yes, this is the memo for the establishment of the letters of credit. Then Odame says, please read paragraph 3 of Exhibit AL, which is the same document they are both referring to. Then Setekwe says, okay, so the witness reads to the hearing of the court. Okay, I don't know whether we captured that. So you will see, that's Odame coming back on the letter he just read. So you will see from paragraph 3 of Exhibit AL that the Debt Management Division clearly indicated that they received instructions from the Deputy Minister, the Honorable Forson, for the establishment of the letters of credit in question. Is that not so? The Honorable